Okay, everybody, this just in. I asked Google AI bot. I swear to God, I want to start a YouTube channel. Anybody and everybody, attorneys. I don't know whether to exclude you from this conversation as witnesses at all, or ask you all if you understand this. But I need a translation of this to go out to Japan and then be understood encapsulatedly with the question and then come back to me where I can understand it. What is the truest cost? This is what I asked AI bot here. AI bot, what is the truest cost per use search engine optimization verbiage? Does it include or disclude per usal each? And its answer is this thing, what it generates. And now it's saying something different. This is the second one. It has a couple of answers. The phrase appears to be a mixture of it's saying the terms true cost per use and per usal each are not standard verbiage, right? Of course they don't talk about it in search engine optimization or digital marketing. The phrases appear to be a mixture of financial terminology and unconventional language rather than proper search engine. And I'm doing this so that they can't white out or dedact what I'm doing, okay? The phrase appears to be a mixture of financial terminology and unconventional language rather than proper search engine right, classically trained dumb monkeys, search engine optimization, or marketing jargon. It's like the query misconstrues multiple concepts. True cost, a financial term, sometimes referred to as total cost of ownership that includes all direct and indirect expenses over an item's lifespan. Well, that's the account that you start with a search engine optimization company that decides what your best terminology is in the dictionaries to use for searches. Per use, a pricing model that calculates cost by dividing the total price of the number of uses. And perusal, the action of reading something, a word not used in SEO pricing, because the attorneys don't just perusal things and throw it to the side. They read every jot and tittle and then pass it along to the consumer that must agree to it in the end user license agreement and the terms and conditions, or else take your computer back because you know not what it is going to do to you. And I'm joggling this with my thumb up and down viewership so that they can't dedact or retract or updact or side swacked any of these words off and put a per pixel, right? A per pixel SEO blotter censorship button over the thing so that they can't read the words that are coming out of my fingertips and out of this AI bot. So I'm randomly varying this so that they can't go through here and change this while I am reading it and trying to show people what I'm having to understand at the levels of grammar that I actually have to sift through, and the concepts that I have to go out and come back properly, right, amongst trade partners and financial partners, and understand the basis for what the agreement or disagreements actually are. And they don't, and they're in between me and the top tiers or top dogs or what, right? The top head honchos or headfuls of honcho that still have all their togetherness, not the old Navy dummies, right, in the showcase window that are the headless honchos. Not those. The ones that still have all of their everything, appendages, their heads on, and everything else, and they're not just dummies for fashion modeling. But it, Anyway, so this is what, you know, these are what it answered right here in, you know, because it's important that y'all scan this in and read this article by AI bot. It really is, attorneys especially, because it's probably one of the greatest translatory misconceptions or translatory arguments in the history of global communications and language. This particular terminology right here, Peruse, P-E-R dash U-S-E, or P-E-R dash space U-S-E, and perusal, right, which is how we pronounce it, which it's spelled per use or perusal without the dash or the space. And those three probably cause the greatest trade breakdowns right now, and I'm just starting to come to that kind of conclusion or suspicion. So read that and then I guess weep or what, and then and this is the other one that it oh, CPU and cost per use are the same thing in engineering ergonomics, everybody. Holy shit. I didn't think of that acronym together. Good God, America. What in the purchase price, number of uses per verbiage or wordage. SEO verbiage. This refers to the language and terminology used in the concept of search engine optimization. In SEO, the term cost can refer to different pricing models such as monthly retainers, hourly rates, or project-based fees, or per-click ads. They get per-click words, per-word search type, click, double-click, triple, reprint, misprint, word search. And they're getting paid for all of this crap. ARPA, they're getting paid for all this crap now. And your honors, if there are any of you left, your honorables and not your dishonorable mentions or unhonorable mentionless, they get paid for all of this stuff. And they are being paid for all of this horse shit. So anyway, this is really I'm seriously thinking about starting a little YouTube segment on my channel for arguments with AI. And just see what happens. Just come up with crazy ass questions, ask the AI, and then take on viewership and commenters live while we're literally arguing with AI to see if we can teach it a lesson. Most of this I understand and I believe is very relevant to the total terms of attorneys lost the perusal of the contract that they had a recording of for the Paperwork Reduction Act to gain the perusal, right? I mean, the perusal of they said so and they looked it over and they didn't have time for all that shit, but they billed for it all. Total cost of ownership, everybody, a more formal business calculation that accounts for all costs, not just expenses, the collateral, the liability insurance, the damages, all of it. All costs over an asset's life cycle. Well, if that was the fucking asset, then they died and that's it. Send them one of those military checks at whatever it is. It's a very fixed amount and tell everybody the flag represents what's left of them. That's what they gave. And I'm having a problem with some of this with no budget. I would be headed north too in a boat like that. I'd be probably right ahead of y'all or right behind you in some kind of order or fashion. Good God. There's an argument apparently over whether this AI bot thinks I'm an it, and the people who are trying to decide whether or not I can manage my own stuff have decided whether or not they are smarter than this thing, and they're the ones developing it. Good God. Your Heinekens or Honorables, if there are any of y'all left, please, for the love of God, take a look at this and get real and busy trying to figure out where all the attorneys peruseling all this stuff are versus the attorneys that are perusing each and every one of these terms and conditions in the end user license agreements. Thank you. Goodness.